Is this filming now?
Yes, it's filming.
Okay. I don't know what's going on here. I said hi to, what's your, Dana?
Dina.
I said hi to this organization on Facebook. I said, I'm at Lee Mood. I don't even think I said I should come interview. I just said hi. And then
We were like, oh, awesome. It's so nice to meet you finally
she
in
said,
person.
come by. Well, so yes, finally. So I walked by. She's like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, but we've never met, right?
No, not in person.
Okay, but she was acting like,
Because I religiously watch Josh and all of his life, and so I feel like I know him really, really well. And when I saw him, I was like, I just wanted to give him a hug and say I'm so sorry for things your life and all your things and your stuff you're going through. But he doesn't really know me, so that's a little bit creepy.
No, I'll take the hug. I guess there was a table between us. That was what was happening before. Because she's like, I know what's you had Mira over, and then you wish you had kids, and I'm like, oh, I guess you watched my story last night. She's like, yeah. So she knows everything, and I was just saying because my cousin is over at a table there. She does. Hebrew calligraphy, yeah, and
she was using an actual feather and ink before.
Wow!
Like she was using a beautiful long feather, dipping it in ink, and she was creating Hebrew letters. It was gorgeous.
Very good, and she just wrote my name as well. And she's like, "What's your Hebrew name?" I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, she wrote it out for you?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So and she's like, "Oh," she's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Oh," and she's like, "What are you working on?" I'm like, doing a bit of freelance. I don't know where to live because I sold my condo, and I thought, it'll be so great to travel around.
I'm talking to Toby. She's behind the camera. Oh. Josh is a digital nomad, so he doesn't have a place to live. He rents hotels and stays at friends' houses all the time, so he doesn't have a base.
Yeah, which sounds like
Isn't that cool, Toby?
That is so cool.
Really? Here's Toby. Toby works at this organization as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
huh?
we're here at Ezer Mizion. I'm actually going to have to set it up again.
I don't know. So you
Is
can.
it working?
Toby can help us out.
Toby can do it.
Okay.
fine.
So I don't know. Well, I'm glad this makes me happy. I do my stories, and that you know about me, and maybe you can give me some advice on what do you do? Do you live somewhere? Do you live in a place?
I live in an actual house.
Wow, what's that like?
It's expensive.
Right.
It's expensive.
Wow.
Right? So, you have to pay for the house and all the things in it and the people who live in it also.
Right.
So, I'm glad that I have people who live in it to pay for, but I'm just saying sometimes I wish I was a digital nomad.
Well, hopefully my stories are what's the term, absolving you of that notion, or
slightly.
Yeah. You're like, no, I like having
Slightly,
a place to
it's
go.
nice to go home to the same place every day. Yes, and I highly recommend you thinking about doing something like that. I'm not going to give you advice on your public channel or whatever, but I don't think you mind. But anyhow, so clearly you don't mind.
Shame, no boundaries.
No boundaries whatsoever. But I feel like having a stable place creates a stable mind. And so when you have your bedroom and you have your place where you keep your papers and you have a place where your mail comes to, it kind of, keeps you a little bit grounded.
Yeah, and I did not realize that. I thought my condo was dragging me down, but suddenly I'm like, I feel unmoored. My mail's going to my parents' place, but like Mira said last night, she's like, she couldn't do it. Like, whatever she's doing, she knows she's going home to a place. Like, I'm using so much mental energy going, where am I staying next week or next tomorrow?
Your mental energy should not be used for that. Your mental energy should be used for what you're doing during the day, and then stable place at night.
Yeah. So,
in my opinion, humble,
it's a good opinion.
Non-nomad opinion.
Well, my cousin said she has a basement apartment and the tenant just left, so maybe I could rent space in there or something.
You could become her calligraphy.
That's true. I could stand there and hand her ink or feathers or whatever.
Yeah, you could pluck feathers from the Canadian geese, and you can give them to her so she can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's right. I could run around and
I'm sure that she's not using Canadian geese feathers.
No. I'm sure it's fake feathers or.
I don't think it was real.
Or maybe real.
When she comes back, we should ask.
Something ethical. I'm sure it is.
Something ethical.
Yes. Right. Well, I was going to say, speaking of ethics, maybe that's a good segue.
Speaking of ethics, that is a great segue.
What is your organization?
Our organization is Ezer Mizion, and we are the world's largest Jewish bone marrow registry. So we spend our days saving lives and matching people all around the world who need bone marrow transplants. Oh. We're up to approximately 35 a month, and we've saved over 3,300 There you go.
Yes.
Over 3,300 lives so far, 57 of them in Canada. And we're really proud of that fact. And, we work really hard to build our registry with loads of people. We're up to almost 1 million people in our registry. And we have an awesome event coming up December 1st and 2nd to support our bone marrow registry. And that is that we are bringing the famous Jerusalem market to Toronto 3 times. I don't know what's for the third time.
Okay.
Toby's my, agent. It is our 3rd annual. We did it the first year at the Witchwood Barns, and we did it last year at the Promenade. We had 12,000 people come out to support our bone marrow registry. We are bringing this year 80 Israeli vendors who are bringing, about 2 of them at each booth. So we have about 40, what is it now? 39 vendors who are tables of products, all Israeli, chalva, spices, candy, Israeli art, Israeli jewelry, and they're all coming from Israel, flying to spend these days with us. It is a shuk. Like, it's not just like a market. It's like a crazy shuk. We have fruit being flown in. It's going to be really nuts and really fun, and all of it is to support Ezer Mizion and our bone marrow registry.
Wow.
So everybody should come to this event. The tickets are online. Here is the website, ezermizion.ca/shuk. They are $10 a person.
It's nothing.
Children under 6 are free. We also have this year.
I wish I had children under 6.
Yeah, Josh, we got to discuss
A little
this
separate
part.
thing.
A little separate thing.
All right.
You could take some that you find on the street. They would love to go for free to an event. What about your niece and nephew?
That's true.
It's really sick that I know about his niece.
I was thinking of visiting them this afternoon. Do you want to come with me?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm stuck here.
Oh, right.
I have to be here.
Right. Oh, that's right. I decided I was going to stay here maybe instead.
Your niece actually, on one of your stories, gave you some very valuable advice. It was very interesting. You were walking along a bridge, and there was water, and you were geese, and she stopped, and she turned around, and she looked at you, and she's like, "Uncle Josh, put your phone away and enjoy the view." And I was like, that's such beautiful advice. It's world advice. It's life advice.
She's always telling you to put down the phone. But
She's great.
The irony is that you wouldn't know about this if
Without
I had,
the phone.
Yeah, I
Very,
know.
very true. That is ironic.
So yeah, I'm conflicted. I do want to share things, but my sister says stop wasting your time sharing everything. What's the
Right.
point? You're not making any money from this. But it makes me feel a bit less lonely, I guess. Although not really, because unless I meet someone like you in person, I don't know who's looking or
Right.
What they.
Can you not tell who's watching?
Yeah, well, you can see who looks at your Instagram stories and stuff. You can't, but you don't know if they're actually paying attention. Or I don't know. It's or just not talking to them. I can see,
Right,
people.
but you're not really talking to them.
Like this ex-girlfriend Emily that I dated 15 years ago. I can see she looks a lot, but I don't talk to her. So what is the point? It's not fulfilling.
I think human-to-human interaction is far more fulfilling than...
Yeah, and that's why I've been struggling a bit, even just staying at my cousin's house. It's a big house, I'm alone, all their family photos are everywhere.
Kind of turning into Dina Josh therapy session.
Sorry, yes. Are you,
But that's okay.
are
I'm
you
okay with that.
qualified therapist?
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
well.
not. I mean, I have teenagers, so that kind of qualifies me as a therapist.
Oh my God,
You know?
that just makes me even sadder. I wish I had
No,
teenagers.
you could come over one night, and then you'll leave and say, "Thank you, Lord, that I don't have teenagers. I'm sorry if my children are watching. I love you all."
Well, it's I was saying hi to this woman Lauren who couch surfed with me a few years ago,
Yeah.
and then she's in New Zealand, and she went and had kids right away, and I said, yeah, I wish I had kids. She's like, oh, but look at the front room here, it's all messy. I'm like, it's tough. It's hard to say, but I guess having
mess is part
kids
of
is
it,
the one thing you can't go back in time
That's
and
true.
do it earlier. You can always clean up a mess or whatever.
true,
So
I
anybody who
agree.
thinks that, oh, I wish I didn't have kids,
That's true.
you do need it.
They are
so.
wonderful, I will say. To have them around, especially now that they're growing up, and you have kind of confidants and friends around. So that's kind of nice too. But there's a lot of stuff to get through.
How did you meet the father?
Um,
That's a whole separate thing, I
I
guess.
think we shouldn't discuss that.
All right. Oh, that's a whole. All right, that'll be our next episode. Josh Rackless After Hours. Okay, so we're talking about bone marrow transplants.
So today at Leewood, we're here at Leewood.
Oh no, that's
No, these are swab sticks. Is that what we call them? We don't really have a name for them. They are like Q-tip swabs, and this is how we get people on the registry. They fill out a really simple form based on their age, their if they've ever had any certain diseases that prevent them from getting on our registry. We do a simple cheek swab. We put them on our registry. and then they hope to get called. And if they're called, the process of giving bone marrow, it used to be very difficult. It used to be like an extraction from the hip, from the actual bone marrow. It was very painful, took a long time to recover, and now it's really just like blood withdrawal, and then we get the marrow from the blood withdrawal. So it's really like they're just like kind of lying in a bed for 5 hours, and the blood is being taken from them, and a machine behind it's being separated, and the bone marrow is placed into like a bag, and it's sent to where the patient is at that moment, and the patient is saved from that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, because I was picturing like you have to slice into the shin or something. I don't know.
No slicing, just very simple IV in the arm.
Great.
Yeah, so it's great. So we've had quite a few people today at Limud who came by and registered. A lot of them are really excited about our event, so we're really excited about our event. We will be doing swabbing at our event as well. So if you are between the ages of 18 and 45 and you'd like to get on our registry, then come by and visit us at the Shuk, and we'll do a simple cheek swab there, and we'll get you on our registry.
So another thing that you can't do when you're older. Interesting to hear about that. All right. Well, that's good. And Jews, obviously, they have special, like you need a special thing.
DNA. It's DNA. It's all DNA based. So a Jewish person with their DNA and their ancestry has a higher chance of finding a match in a Jewish registry. There are 27 registries worldwide, and all of them are of different persuasions, and all of them are different cultures, and we are all connected. So those, if you swabbed on one, you don't need to swab on another one, and you stay on it forever. I think we take you off when you're 65, right, Toby?
Oh, wait, how can you can still be on at 65, but you can't swab if you're over 45 now?
That's a whole other thing, and we can get into that off camera.
Oh, so is there something wrong with my marrow now, or?
It's as marrow matures, putting it into a patient who is very sickly and almost not alive anymore. They need
young, good.
You need young, good marrow.
He's laughing.
Yeah, because I said not alive because I don't like the D word.
Oh, right. I don't like that either.
So.
But wait, why would you put it into a patient who's not alive?
No. When a patient is extremely sick and at the point of needing bone marrow, they are really like at the end of their life. They need to be put into isolation and depleted of all their blood cells, and we replace it with the new bone marrow.
So you want healthy young marrow,
Healthy,
not my
young.
crap.
Right. Right. I didn't say that part, but
No.
we want young, healthy marrow. Yeah. We actually have a collaboration with the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force in Israel, and every new Army recruit that comes to register in the Army gets on our registry. So we have between 50,000 and 60,000 new recruits that join on our registry every single year.
Wow. That's young and healthy.
So they're young and healthy, very diverse, different, pools of different cultural mixes. We have like a soldier who's got a Moroccan mom and a Ashkenaz dad, and all different kinds of mixed cultural blood, and we really like that so that we can cover all the pools. And the goal is that one day, if somebody needs a bone marrow transplant, they never have to wait again. Before the establishment of Ezer Mizion's registry, a Jewish person had a 7% chance of finding their match and being able to go on with life and living. And after, now, I'll say during, because we're not at 100% yet, we're at 76%. There's a 76% chance now. So it's a very large difference. And our goal...
Toby doing? Are we not focused? Oh, we're probably dark. It's probably backlit. Is that what the issue is, Toby?
You're losing your battery, but you're good. You're good.
Oh, right. It keeps coming low battery. That's right.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, hopefully we're still going.
So the goal is, you guys, come on out. Come to support our bone marrow registry. Yes. Come to the Shuk on December 1st and December 2nd. We have 40 new booths coming from Israel with 80 Israelis getting on a plane just to see all of you. It's only $10 a ticket, 15 at the door, so buy your tickets now online and join us to support the bone marrow registry.
All right, well, hopefully I can come, depending on where I am. I don't know. We'll see. Well, what else am I doing? I don't know. I don't know where I live, Toby. Haven't you been listening? I was thinking of going to Ottawa this week. My birthday's Tuesday, and then my mom said I can come for like a birthday dinner Friday, and I can stay at their place for a little bit. But I can't move in. They don't want me living in their basement.
Mm-hmm. Did they tell you that?
My dad said he doesn't want a roommate. They're grown up. But the problem is, like, in the basement, he has his TV and down there, and that's where he does his stuff. And
that's his place.
But even if, I've also realized, like, it's hard to get work done there because it's the Wi-Fi doesn't really reach the basement. So then, okay, where do I set up? Do I set up in the living room? But then I'm kind of in everybody's way. Like, it's like you were saying, like, or my cousin was just asking, like, what do you need in a place? I kind of need a desk, like just a laptop so I can set up.
Right.
And also for my voice acting, I need a space without
Right.
echoes.
It's like really hard to be putting like mattresses and pillows and making your like hiding in closets. Like that's hard for you to do.
Exactly. So that's what I was doing at my cousin's house
Yeah.
last week. I went to a closet for a bit, and I'm like, this isn't working. So I moved into a room that had a little desk.
Mm-hmm.
But I go under. I put pillows behind the computer, and then I get under a blanket, and I do
Right.
that.
Right.
Or when I was in the hotel in the summer, I like lifted up mattresses to lean around me, and one of them fell off and knocked the bedside. I didn't talk about that, but it knocked the bedside table off the wall, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, so they came and fixed it. But yeah, so it's a bit frustrating because if I was literally just working from my laptop, I guess I could sit in Starbucks and type or whatever. But even then, I realized you want good Wi-Fi to be able to upload my videos and stuff. So it's frustrating. But we'll figure it out. It's like Dean Gracioso. He's this millionaire mentor that I've been following on Instagram. He keeps saying, everything in your life is it's a chapter. It's like, and then the next chapter you'll see keep coming up with new things and stuff. So
I completely agree.
so thanks. All right, and
As long as you just keep moving forward,
that's what I'm trying to do. And I don't need bone marrow right now, so I guess that's a positive.
It's a very positive thing. This kind of puts life into perspective, It's like, you look at people and they're going through such a hard time with, leukemia or other blood-related diseases, and, to have that happen to you is really a very, very a hardship. It's a big hardship. So if you're not in that area, then...
And that's what I always try to do mentally, too. I go, okay, what if something worse was happening to me? What if I needed this? I'd be like, oh, my God, I wish I could go back to that time when my biggest complaint was, I didn't have kids or a place.
Exactly, 100%. That's a good way to look at things, Josh. That's positive.
Look at me. I should be a life coach.
You should be a life coach.
I'm thinking about it.
A digital
nomad life coach. I actually tried signing up for BetterHelp.com
Yes.
last week.
Yes.
And then I was supposed to talk to a therapist, and I just never clicked to talk to her for the free session or whatever, but I guess I should.
Those are traps. When you go to a
Well, no, the free
session.
one is that's $60 a week after that.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Doesn't sound too bad.
That's a pretty good price.
All
Yeah.
my friends, Mira and Jackie, they're all saying, you need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well,
We
it's
all
been-
do. We all do.
All right. Well, it's been very good
was
talking
great
to
to
you.
meet you.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a live version of my show, and then you're actually, who would have thought that you'd be on it one day?
I'm like starstruck. I kind of like met a movie star today.
Do you even?
I will say that.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And look, we've got Michael sitting here now. Shalom Michael, little appearance.
I saw you last night. I was explaining to my cousin what Ezer Mizion did. The event last night was amazing.
Yes, that's right. I saw you there. Yeah, we had an event last night, and we had two extremely inspirational speakers. We had Zeev Shilon. Okay, now if you don't know who Zeev Shilon is, and you want an inspirational speech, you must Google him and watch his TED Talks. He is an IDF war hero who has turned his disabilities into hyper abilities, and he is the most inspirational person I've ever listened to talk. We also had Lior Raz from Fauda last night come to our event, and he was
What is that? Should I know what Fauda is?
Fauda is a TV show it was originally based in Israel. Now it's everywhere. It's on Netflix, and it's like a TV drama based on the Arab-Israeli politics and conflict in Israel, and it's a very, very interesting show. And so the star and director of the show was with us last night also. It was a great night at Ezer Mizion. It really was.
This was last night, so we can't plug in. Where was this?
This was at PI Fine Art, and it was a beautiful, beautiful venue. It's incredible food by PR. Who else can I plug? I don't know. It was just wonderful.
Nobody's still watching at this point.
Karen Garskaden was like the most incredible event planner. She worked with us, with Toby and the team, and we had great co-chairs, Randy and Esty Cohen. You know Randy? He's like the guy with the ear. Randy Cohen listens. He's like on all the buses. He's a real estate agent, and he's like this big ear. Anyway, so Randy and Esty chaired with Karen and Jeff Monas, and they were just phenomenal. They were powerhouses, and we had a really beautiful event last night.
Is there going to be one next year?
Hopefully there'll be one a lot. There'll be one more than next year.
Oh, you're always having events?
Having events, yeah.
Well, maybe I should be living in your basement and then just coming to the events with you. We'll
You can
talk.
volunteer with us, Josh.
Okay,
It's really
there we
fun to
go.
volunteer at Ezer Mizion.
All right, well,
Great team.
I think somebody on Instagram or the session today or somebody maybe it was the therapist today saying like helping others is really good for.
It is
for
good therapy.
Toby, you can actually speak. What are you telling us?
I'm telling Dina to hold up the shook thing again.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm
okay.
lagging.
All right. I can even take the audio from this and use it as a podcast and stuff,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
that'll be good because it's
That
been
would
a
be
long
really
discussion.
cool.
Okay, great. Well, hopefully we'll
great to
talk.
meet you,
do you
Josh.
remember how you discovered me originally? Follow me online.
Yes.
Might be private.
No, it's not so private. Nothing about your life is private.
No, I know.
I saw you online somewhere, and then I clicked your name, and then you sent me an invitation to follow you, and I thought you were related to a different Rachlis that I remember. I don't know. I was asking about Eitan Rachlis,
Yeah.
and if you're related to him,
I'm
and
sure
you
we
said
are.
no, I don't think I am, but you can follow my stories, and I was like, okay, and then all of a sudden I'm just following your stories, and they're fairly interesting.
Yeah, I think Eitan follows me on Instagram or something, and I
yeah.
mean all the Racklisses. I think we're all related somehow. I just
Yeah.
don't know him
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
Is he in LA? I feel like there's
No, he lives here. He's Israeli, and he lives here. He's a nice guy.
so maybe he's met up with. I know my cousin Michael was looking for
Yeah.
other people and had lunch with somebody at some point.
Uh-huh.
And my dad just wrote a book about the family history, so we'll figure it out.
Cool.
All right. Well, great, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
All right,
Thanks. And
thanks,
so people
Josh.
go to the website. Come to the Shook. Yes, that's
Come
what
to
we're
the
going to do.
Shook.
I'm going to
Come
come to the Shook. You'll be
exactly.
shook.
I'll be all shook up.
Okay. I'm going to press stop. Thanks for your help, Toby. You could have stopped this video. Okay.
could have stopped the video,
yeah,
Toby.
but no,
You
she's
look
busy now.
really busy on your
Okay.
phone.
Bye, Toby.